Oh, I got it. Oh, you're recording us, huh?
I just remembered to start it just now.
Yeah, it just said that, right. Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have
What?
I have a message here. Supposed to say something? The account owner can also watch this. I just say got it, I guess. Okay. So what's this? Who's the nerd? Am I the nerd because I
Oh,
provided
I don't even know. I don't even know who put that in the email. I don't know what that meant. I don't know what that meant.
liar? It was your email.
Really? Oh, wait. What's that? Oh, Donna is sending us.
Texting.
She's sending us a message. Let's talk about Mike. So, Mike.
You didn't see it. Oh, wait. No, it's
I saw it. I saw it. Did you see it, Kath?
I saw it.
no,
the
but
note?
did Mike see it?
You know, I don't know.
They're still trying to figure their
He's
thing
not
out.
reacting. Yeah.
If you saw it on an iPad, you're on an iPad, Kath, right?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he would have seen it on his iPad, the same thing. I just don't know why he can't get
Well, everybody would see it.
unmuted.
That's such a shame.
That is.
Yeah, because
So
they don't know.
now last year, actually last year, or now to the email invitation, I attached the recording of last year.
Yes, the one I provided the entertainment for.
That was it. Oh, that was it. Entertainment. Okay.
Yes.
And probably what I can figure out from looking at that, which I didn't do, is if I compare it to this year's, it will show that I lost 15 pounds over a year.
Wow. Did you really? What do you weigh?
Probably.
What do you weigh?
132.
Oh my God.
That's less than you, Donna. No, about the same, right?
I weigh 126.4.
Oh, but
I
oddly
weigh
enough,
myself every single day.
about 6 months ago, when I went to my endocrinologist after having my blood work done for type 2 diabetes, with the numbers, I figured she was going to suggest.
I can see you, Mike. Wait, I'm talking to Mike. Yeah, we can see you. What are you on, an iPad or a computer?
Can you hear him?
Okay. No, we can see you. We can see you. You know what to do? Touch the edges of he's waving. Touch the edges of your screen and see if something else pops up, like something that says audio or something like that.
Something that says unmute.
Or unmute. That's all.
Or
you have
mute.
to do. Mute.
Or
Because
mute.
mine
And then you
says-
just click it.
Yeah, mine says mute because I'm unmuted.
Right.
Right. Correct.
All of us.
So
Yeah.
did any other signals pop up when you touch the edges of your screen? On some screens, it's across the top. On some
Yeah.
screens, it's on the bottom.
Correct.
Oh.
Can he hear us,
Oh,
Kathy?
try join audio. Hit that. Okay, now speak. Say it again.
No.
No. Darn. But it's so weird because we can see you, so we know you're on. You know what? Maybe get out and come back in. And when you come back in, see if there's a message that says view with audio. Okay. Okay, bye.
Good work, Kath. Did you ask him if he could hear us?
Oh, no, I didn't, but I got a feeling he didn't. But you're right, I didn't ask that.
Yeah. Which may mean he's not getting sound, and which may also mean, well, I don't know, on his iPad, I'm sure he uses sound
Yeah.
for viewing and stuff, you know? So are you saying you want to go hiking in New Hampshire?
No, I said
I hope not. I hope
I
not.
watched a show about hiking.
Did you ever get the text I sent you after we talked about what Ron said on his
On his Facebook. Yeah, I did see that on his
probably
Facebook.
had seen that. Donna
was-
probably saw it. He said something like, I
I
don't know what I'm going to
wear.
wear to my living room for New Year's Eve. I may not even go.
Yeah.
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 I saw that. It was cute.
How many of you were up for the ball drop?
I was only up because Rob woke me up.
Oh, did he?
I was asleep.
Oh, and then I should share with you, Kevin, Mike's text though.
Watched Andy Cohen on CNN trash the mayor of New York, and it's all over the internet
Oh,
today.
yeah.
He really went over the line.
The only thing I saw.
Mayor, he said he's the worst mayor in New York City.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He probably won't have that job next year.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about the old mayor, right? De
Yeah.
Blasio.
Of course. Well, the other one didn't get sworn in yet. He just got.
Well, but people have been trashing him for years.
Yeah, they have. But to do it publicly.
I thought Andy
You know,
Cohen, I thought Andy Cohen and whoever the Anderson, I thought they were like drunk and
They weren't drunk. That's what they do. I watch them every year. They drink themselves to oblivion. I don't know why they keep putting them on.
they weren't funny. They were just like acting silly, I thought.
No, they were
For the-
totally wasted. Totally.
For the whole 5 minutes that I
okay,
saw them.
Mike is trying to come in again.
That's good.
Oh, but now he's.
Oh, now he's audio only. Watch. Oh, there he is.
But he's not audio. Kathy, oh, can you hear? You're not on the phone with him any longer.
No.
Mike, can you hear us? Poor guy. He looks he's struggling.
And we don't know if he can see us either, to tell you
I
the
guess-
truth.
Yeah, because
Right.
we're waving. Wait, I'm waving.
know.
Yeah,
He just looks like he's just looking at the screen, so I don't know
Yeah.
what he's getting. I have my screen on speaker view, so that when the
Mhm.
recordings work, you're going to see who's speaking. Whereas gallery view, you just have the four
Yeah.
pictures.
Wait, oh yeah, when you're speaking, you're outlined in green. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Yellow.
But, oh, did I just hear him?
Mikey.
Mike? I thought I just heard a sound.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying yellow.
Oh, okay.
Outlined in yellow when I talk.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
let
I
me,
could,
let me check that. Gallery. Oh, yeah, yellow. Mine yellow too. But don't
Yeah.
forget, Donna, that she has an iPad. It may be different, slightly
Right.
different. Okay, I
And what-
changed back to
laptop,
huh?
Donna?
What? I'm
You're on
sorry.
your laptop?
Yes.
That's not funny. Each one is a little bit different.
Yeah. I'm thinking of getting a new laptop. I tried to do something the other night. Judy's sister and relatives were all on, and I tried to do my Zoom like I always do from this room, and my computer sound wouldn't work. So I played around with it for about 20 minutes, then I went upstairs and I just sat next to Judy on the iPad for the whole whatever we did, about an hour.
Yeah.
And then I came down and I played till about midnight trying to figure out what was wrong. And eventually, somehow, my computer fixed itself.
Yeah, right.
You tell it it has a problem, and then it goes to it and then it says solved.
I know.
And then I went to YouTube to see if I can, because I had tried a YouTube before and I could see a person talking, but I couldn't hear them.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, wow.
after I did this fix, it was back on. So I don't know, but this laptop, which I use for gymnastics and have been using for 10 years,
Yeah.
I'd like to say it's slowing down, but it's not slowing down because I'm not making it do anything that it
Yeah.
doesn't otherwise do. But I started to look into some things, Windows 11 and.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was waving. Sorry.
I know.
I have a question about laptops.
Yeah.
And computer and even desktops. Can you download apps on those things? Like, I guess you can.
In
Zoom's an app.
Windows 10, yes, I think you can.
Yeah. Is that right, Donna?
I don't know if they work the same way as they do on your phone, though. I haven't tried that because I do different things on my phone than I do on the computer.
All right.
For me, my phone and my iPad are really efficient with apps and things like that.
Yeah, because
I-
they're Apple products. Yeah.
And it's getting to me, I've noticed this lately, it's getting like everybody is telling you to download an app. So if you don't have a device that can download apps, you're basically shut out.
Of that, yeah. Well, I would.
Like TV is getting that way.
Well, you know, it's funny. You know what I did the other day? I'm watching a YouTube lecture or something, and you know, underneath it, it has all the different controls, and it has the one to make it a full screen.
Yeah.
Right next to it, there was another one that had like a screen, but it had diagonal bars going through it. So I touched it, and it said "Play on TV."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I tapped on it, and what I was looking up at showed up on my TV because it is a smart TV. But
That's
it showed
why,
up.
because
Huh?
you have a smart TV. If I did that, it wouldn't work because I don't have a smart TV.
Yeah. But
Right.
it's
Oh, he's
I
gonna
guess
give
that's-
up. He's
Oh.
giving up.
I guess that's what you call streaming to your television.
Poor Mikey.
But I'll have to test that. I'll have to try on the other computer downloading an app because my computer calls the things apps.
Yeah.
All right, he's calling somebody
Eh,
or texting somebody
or emailing somebody.
or emailing somebody.
Let me see if it's.
Why didn't he did
I-
this last year? Oh, he said they were having.
He said,
connection.
I think. Oh no, that was before. No. Well, no, I let him in. It says Frank needs to let me in. That was at 5:17. No, we're 5 minutes past that. He's in.
He's been in.
He's in. Otherwise, we wouldn't have him on the screen.
Yeah.
You all have the gallery screen with the 4.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
and he's now in my lower left right now.
Same here.
Yeah.
Whoops. What I do?
But I don't know what to say.
Oh, it's a shame.
Must be sending an email or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he just wants a private. He wants a private showing. Well, Donna, let's do what you said. Let's talk about him. Since Butch is recording this, eventually Mike's back.
Oh wait. It says I need Chrome, Firefox, or Chromium Edge. Guess I not have. Anyway, you all look great. Happy New Year.
Oh,
So he could see us.
I
think
guess
so.
that's what he
I
said.
think so. I think so.
Well, that's weird. Everybody has one of those things, Chrome, Firefox,
Yeah.
or the one was. I mean,
Edge.
But maybe not on. Well, I don't know.
No, he's gone.
He just popped out
yeah.
or shut it. I don't know what he did. He's still trying.
Poor kid. So Donna, how are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
I feel good. Other than I just discovered I have another reason that I have to go to the hospital this month
Why?
for my 6-month shot for my bone density,
Oh, yeah.
January 22nd. And I'm hoping that I have nothing to do in January until this virus calms down a little. I'll be out 4 times.
Oh, geez.
3 times for the eye doctor and 1 time to the hospital.
Wow.
I give up.
Yeah. Well. So I told you that Tristan was positive, but just that one day he was really, really sick. And then
Right.
it was fine.
Oh,
And
good.
Still testing negative, and his family is still testing negative.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Strange how I can't believe she get positive.
Yeah, that's surprising. Frank, are the schools opening on time where you are in Old or
In
delayed?
In New Jersey, it's up to the school districts to decide what they're doing.
Right. That's why I'm
And
asking.
I couldn't tell you because it's all
Oh,
different.
Yeah, so every is making a different decision. Well, what happened?
Frank
That's-
Brady is sharing screen. What?
I'm sharing a whiteboard. Okay.
Oh,
Hey, Butch, come on, don't push it. Oh, that's a good idea. Good thinking, Butch. We see you. Can you see?
See you, can't hear you.
Can you see us?
Well, he knows that. Can you see us? Right.
Well, he won't know how to answer this, Butch.
Uh,
Right. Wave if you can. Oh, there you go. Wait, raise your hand if you can. Good. Raise your hand. Yeah. Can you see us?
Thumbs up.
If yes.
so now I have to get, well, where is he?
Yeah, he hasn't been there since you started writing.
Oh, I can still see him.
I can't see him. I just see his name.
No, I see his face.
Oh,
I don't see his face either.
yeah,
I
me
see
neither. It's black.
I see his face, but it looks frozen, like it hasn't moved.
Oh,
Oh. Okay, let me get the screen out and see if what happens. Stop share. Stop share.
That's pretty good, Butch, that you knew how to do that whiteboard.
That's if you go across, like on your thing, if you go across the top, and I don't know if you have to be hosting to do it, but you see all these different things that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
That's
dark,
cool.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
Although,
I wanted to answer your question about schools. Here in this state, the governor wants them to open. However, the teachers union does not want to open. I mean, right away, they want the tests first.
right,
And
right.
the test. So they're having a meeting today or tomorrow maybe, to decide whether they're going to open on Monday or not. And I think it's similar to what Butch said. Some districts, some cities will open, some won't.
and what it is, it's because, like in our case, I think last year, the governor with all his executive orders mandated things, and people, because there's two sides of everything, get up in arms about mandates.
Yes.
So he has decided, I'm not mandating anymore. I'm leaving it up to you. And you know what? That's where the whole thing, in my mind, began to be a problem, when our government didn't order things to be done to protect everyone. Instead, there was a certain guy who said, I'll leave it up to the states.
Yep.
And then, of course, everybody did something different, and that's where it is now. And that's what our governor is doing with the schools. Because parents go to board meetings and complain that if my kids are home, I can't go to work. You know, and so it becomes an economic issue, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But leaving it up to districts, in some way, I can see that's a nice thing to do. In other ways, I think that reinforces this whole my personal freedom narrative.
Yeah.
You know,
You're right.
The government is supposed to govern, period, right? Not
well,
like the masses.
Well, it depends. See, I don't know that we all agree on what it means to govern. To govern doesn't mean to order everything like military. You know, it means, it means to organize and to protect and to make sure there's some way to deal with everything that happens. Although in reality, you can never know what everything is that could happen.
Right. But public health, health is kind of a different category in and of itself.
Absolutely.
I mean, pandemic is kind of different in itself. A pandemic so extreme, you know.
Well, I was talking to Kathy last night about the book that Kevin gave me for Christmas, called by Michael Lewis, called Premonition, and it was about a group that were I don't want to say hired. They were assigned back during Bush's years in 2002, 2003 to prepare and study what to do if there should be a pandemic.
Right.
And they did it. And then nothing happened, of course. And as time moved on, a new administration came in. So, of
Mhm.
course, then they didn't have their job anymore. And then a new administration came in. But what I said in the end to Mike is, what's the real shame is they told people what had to be done
Yep.
and nobody listened.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And even, and I have to say, listening to some things with even I'll call it our side, Democratic side, that all that Biden says and does, he doesn't know as much as he thinks he knows either. Nor do any Democrats.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody does. Everybody is following their small piece of whatever it is that they study or
Yeah.
policy, whatever. You know, yeah, it's so sad. It's
But
really
then you have
sad.
the argument about what should be taught about what you should know about history.
Yeah.
Big arguments over that now too, So it is what it is.
So Butch, I heard that background that you have, I heard that takes up a lot of your, I don't know, gigabytes or.
I don't know, because I have I read that said somewhere, but what they give you when you start is a blank screen, the Christmas tree. No, the one I have up behind me right now, that was built in, and it's like two others. But then after that, what I have to do is I go and I get an image and I load it into this. And
Wait, hold on for a minute. Can I ask you a question? Are
Yeah.
you telling me that background that you have, you didn't go out and seek it?
No,
It was
no.
one of the ones offered.
And what it said is you can do something like that. In
Yeah,
fact, one of them may even be motion, now that I think of it, but I don't know. Let me just see something.
I didn't get any offered.
Well, you didn't. Well, I belong to Zoom. Let me just see something.
Oh, plus you also are the person. Oh, that's nice. Now we have space.
Is that one moving? No, I guess not. Okay, but it did. Oh, and here's the top four. This is none. Okay, this is Golden Gate. This is, I don't know, grass or something. Yeah, and this is
That's a nice one. I kind of like
that's an image, like a space.
Right.
It must
type of thing.
because that's funny because I don't even think Rob has these options.
But all these other ones I loaded in. Like I had a picture.
Oh, that's a baby. Oh, that's
Oh, that's cute.
You're not even gonna know what that is.
A baby.
That was Jackson
I
And
thought so.
Bryce.
when Bryce
Bryce.
was born,
Bryce.
holding him in the
But
hospital.
your own pictures you can use as your background.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to load them a certain way, and then and then
I heard
have.
Well, some
And
people
they don't do anything about, and I have one of
house
homes, and I
House.
have one of the
hit the
living
dining.
room, or
Well, that's such a nice room. I heard. Listen to this, Donna. You'll get a kick out of this. Some people have a background that's like floor to ceiling bookshelves.
Oh, wow.
Fake. It's not theirs, but it makes them look like they have all these books.
Yeah.
I think you're right, and I think some of the I'll call them bloggers that use YouTube and everything. They do that. My stock. I belong to a service that gives advice on stocks, and they always have nice backgrounds too. And I know sometimes it's their living room. Other times it's something they built up.
Yeah.
So
there's
Christmas tree. That might be a part of my Christmas tree. Yeah. But I haven't found that it causes any problem with my memory. And as I said, this is an old laptop, so.
Wow, that's interesting. Huh. Well, I heard that from my neighbor, and he has a completely computer system. So I don't know.
I saw that somewhere. When you go on YouTube and you find things on how to do things with Zoom or how to do things with other programs, it tells you these things. And some of them are, I'll say, some are more true than others.
Yeah, for sure. I go
And it
on
depends
YouTube.
on your computer. It depends on the memory of your computer. For example, I'm recording in the cloud,
Right.
which means that when this is done, Zoom will send me a link to the recording, which
Right.
I will then download and change to a YouTube with my YouTube account.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I were recording on my computer, when we stopped and I stopped the recording, it would take about an hour for it to download, and it probably would be too much for my computer.
That's
Wow.
right. That's what Rob does too. I have to remind him to
Do it on the cloud.
cloud, otherwise, and save it
Yeah.
somewhere else. Otherwise,
Somehow. Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's back in person, so he's okay.
Yeah.
He's upstairs grading papers right now.
Well, somebody's got to do that. Or
Now, is
I'm
their opening delayed? Is Tufts opening delayed?
Or no, but we don't open until like the 16th of January or something like that. But
Princeton, not until February. They're
Oh, is
not back.
yeah.
Already said it.
they've already announced.
Well, interesting. I just watched the Seton Hall Villanova basketball game. And Seton Hall had 2 games forfeited because they had COVID and they didn't have enough players to field the team. But as it turns out, at Seton Hall, to go to class, you have to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah, same at Tufts.
Which therefore means that some of those basketball players that had COVID issues because they weren't vaccinated, they shouldn't have been going to classes either. So there's a lot of stuff.
They could get variant and be fully vaccinated.
They couldn't what?
They have the variant. They're testing positive now, even though they're vaccinated. That's what the problem is, right?
They're not all vaccinated. That's what the issue was. They weren't.
No, Butch.
Because, now, the reason I'll say that is because one of the players, after the first time that they got, after the first time that they had the forfeit, in a newspaper, he was quoted as saying, "I know I was vaccinated. I'm not the problem. But I do honor those who felt they didn't want to let something else get into their body."
Yeah.
So in other words, he was saying that if some people on the team chose not to be vaccinated, he can understand the principle of not wanting something else to go into your body that you're not sure of what it's going to do. So therefore, my conclusion from that is they had kids on the team who did not get vaccinated.
Well, I can't speak for Seton Hall, but at Tufts, they are required to be vaccinated and boosted. Now, there are exceptions. Like, isn't there some law that says, I don't know what the exception is, religion? I can't imagine.
Yeah, there are religious, there are medical.
That mean there might be a handful of students that are not vaccinated. But what Donna was trying to say, and she's right, people that are vaccinated and boosted are still getting tested. It's called a breakthrough. It just happens. I mean, that happened. Jackie's boyfriend, they were triple shot and he got COVID and symptoms. So, they told us that from the beginning, that even if you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean you're never, ever, ever going to get it.
Exactly. Nothing was 100% ever.
Never was, never will be. That's right.
You're correct.
But people that get COVID, you were saying the members of the team didn't want some unknown thing to go into their body. When you get COVID, is that not unknown? What that's
but
now and in the future?
No, but Donna, that's not your choice to get COVID. To be vaccinated is your choice.
Yeah. Well, I think to get COVID today.
And as Kathy would say, it's an issue of personal freedom. There are people who think that they choose to do this or they choose to do that. Right. And if you take that choice away, they feel you've taken away their liberties.
And I bet they all got the childhood vaccines and they didn't say boo about that. Right?
Because it was not an issue in those days. But now people are
now
starting.
Now it is
a political issue, period.
Yeah.
Childhood vaccinations now is an issue because so many parents are linking autism with
Right.
immediately after the vaccination for whatever infant.
Right.
Even though
The
whoever it
scientists are
was,
saying, no, that's not true, but a
you're
lot.
correct. Whoever it was
people.
that said that that would lead to autism, that has been disproved.
Yep, that's right.
But you know, people don't keep. What
People
do you believe? What do you believe? The last thing you heard on Facebook?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's what it gets down to some
at the
extent.
kitchen table, or just because I want
Although,
to.
well, although you have to admit, in terms of science, science does change. I
Yep,
mean, things
absolutely.
are learned to be fact, and then it turns out that
Yep.
with more information, well, it wasn't quite that fact. It's a little different.
That's
Okay.
true.
And
Right.
that's hard for people to understand. And therefore, what some people do is they write it off
They
completely.
give up.
I
They
don't
just
listen to any of it. Yeah.
But that's why people should be educated and informed and stop being so selfish. People need
Well,
to be informed by reputable
yeah.
sources and understand people need to understand what you just said. Science does change. We learn new things. That's what learning is all about. New things. Imagine if we didn't learn new things, we'd still think the world was flat.
Well, do you think that everybody in this country who goes to school learns what they're supposed to learn?
Absolutely not. I used to think that, not so
But
much.
they're still citizens and they have freedom. I don't know freedom for what, but
Well, they don't have the freedom to kill me.
no, they have freedom to be stupid though. There's nothing
I'm pretty sure Rob would know the answer to this. We always talk about the founding fathers.
Mhm.
It might have even been Alexander Hamilton that questioned all these personal freedoms because he was
could
like,
be.
"You're really gonna
Could
let
be.
people decide?"
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to think
But that's kind of what we agreed with, that majority rules,
That's
Yeah.
democracy.
Yeah.
It's democracy.
But then you have Manchin and Sinema
Yeah.
who they're protecting what's the thing in the Senate, the 60 vote thing? What's that called?
filibuster.
Filibuster. They're backing that because that's to protect the minority so that you don't have the majority always take something away from the minority. They want to leave it so that you have to have a certain number to approve things. I'm
Well, that's
saying
a
it wrong.
real convenient argument for them right now.
Because they changed it 2 weeks ago when they
they're-
voted on something. They
On
changed.
certain things, yeah.
Right.
But not completely.
Certain things,
Well,
but
that
not voting rights,
hey,
but other
hey,
things.
that gets to the whole thing of
Ugh,
change,
yeah, too much.
Whose thing keeps beeping? Is that your phone, Butch, or Donna?
That's my phone notifications.
You're getting all these calls?
What? No, they're not calls. They're notifications from
Oh, like
things that I get advice.
That's okay. You don't have to read them to us. That's okay.
That's
Mike tested and said, "Tell Frank and Donna, I'm sorry. Damn."
Not Kathy?
I don't know.
Hey, what?
Let me just see what the conversation. No, it's a text from. Yeah, it's a text from Mike to me. It says, "Tell Frank and Donna I'm sorry." I think he thought he was texting you. Because he had been talking to you at one point.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll work this out. We'll work this out.
Yeah.
I'll do some research and see what it is about iPads. What he said he found, and maybe Debbie said this, he said it needs Chrome, Firefox, or Chromium Edge.
That's what I don't.
And you don't have that.
But everybody has one of those. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get onto the internet. I mean, that's what those things mean. They're, internet search things.
Well, that's not every browser possible, though.
Well, it's the pretty much predominant ones. What else is there?
Yeah. Although it's saying Chromium Edge. I use Edge on actually this, which is a Microsoft product on this computer and my other one. But I
Right.
do have Firefox.
What you
And
use, Donna?
Chrome is the Google one.
Chrome Edge.
Yeah,
Oh,
Edge is Microsoft.
Right.
I don't have a clue what I have.
Most people don't, you know. No, true. It's true.
It's my personal choice. I'd rather not know.
Well, sometimes,
Yeah, let's not go back there.
okay.
Let's
Yeah.
not go
Sometimes when you find out you can't do something, and like I'm talking personally, that something's not working, then you try to research to find out how you can do what it is you want to do, and
Yeah.
you end up getting all these other things to do it. You know.
that. Yeah. Well, our trick with the computer, with Rob's computer upstairs, sometimes he leaves it on all of the time. And I'm like, well, that can't be good. Poppy wouldn't like that. You don't leave things on if you're not using them, right? You turn off the lights when you leave the room. So,
No,
so
I'm not going to give the argument on that yet. But go ahead.
But wait, so we turned it off one night because I gave him the speech. And the next day he couldn't get it to come back on.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I'm sure it's fine, blah, blah, blah. Calls me up there. All of a sudden I'm the secretary and I'm looking at it, and all he didn't do was turn on the little teensy, and it's kind of hard to see, the
Yeah.
little on button on he has a tower. That's
Yeah.
what his computer tower. And it is kind of hard to see. So that solved that problem. We just had to turn it on.
The power button.
Of course,
Turn it on.
power
Yeah.
button. And then another time it wouldn't come on. It just went frozen or something. And we did the old trick of unplug it from the wall and
Yeah.
count to 5 and plug it back in. Beautiful.
Well, when
But
I had,
sometimes it takes a few seconds. You got
and there are various things that you learn over time, because I called Ron the other night when I had the problem with the Zoom the other night, and his computer was going crazy, and then it wouldn't boot up either. It just kept saying updating, and never got. So I shut it off,
right.
and I said to him on the phone, I said, I heard one time that if you take the battery out of the laptop so that it doesn't have any power, because if you left the battery in, it's always going to be using that. So I took the battery out, I waited 60 seconds, I put the battery back in, I rebooted, everything came up.
Oh, wow.
And this
I
is
would
after
million years touch the battery. Never, ever, ever. That's like you guys are from the 1940s batteries.
well, I had to change one time.
Is unplugging it, completely unplugging it from the wall. That's the same thing, I think.
No, true, it is, but sometimes you have to do that.
There's a battery?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, in my laptop that I'm using right now, yes, it has a battery, because I don't have to have it plugged in.
That's right. That's right.
But I always have it plugged in.
Yeah, me
I
too.
feel it's better to have 100% power, than
But
to.
having it always plugged in fact, does burn out the battery quicker than if you didn't always have it.
Well, it depends on the kind of battery now, because I've heard things back and forth on that now there are batteries that can't be run down because of that.
Okay.
Although I don't know what kind I have, so that's hard.
Well, that's what the Geek Squad guy told me.
Yeah.
I tend to always leave it plugged in.
Yeah. I always leave this one. I don't leave plugged in, but my desktop over on desk, that's on 24/7.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now, as far as Kathy, what you're saying, Kath, about what Dad said about turning the lights on and off and on and off, over time, people have said there's more of a draw on power when you turn something off and then turn it back on, because now it has to get a whole surge.
Yep.
Whereas if you just leave it on, it stays in a steady state.
Yep. Like the refrigerator.
I'm not an engineer, so.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like our refrigerator, that's on 24/7.
Yeah.
Right.
Ever and ever, right? But I'm sorry, out of faithfulness to Daddy, whenever I leave a room, I turn off the light.
Well,
and when Rob is alive and awake, he has all the lights on. So you can imagine we're always at odds.
well, a couple of women, 5 years ago, gave us at the clubhouse, gave us a hard time. They said, how come you don't have sensors on your lights in the hall so that you don't have to turn them off and on and leave them on by mistake and so on? So we had sensors put in and it worked fine. So I went out and I bought sensors for my bathrooms.
Oh,
They're still in the garage. I haven't put them in, but theoretically, and I've seen this on YouTube, theoretically, I can set it up so that when I go into the bathroom, the light goes on.
Right.
If I leave the bathroom and it's a motion
Yeah.
detector. If
Yeah.
there's no motion for a certain length of time, the light goes off.
so where
it
do you
turns-
connect things to?
Huh?
The light, where do you
I'd
connect
have
it?
to take the switch plates out and put something in, replace it. Yeah,
Really?
it's an electrical thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure, the switch. That makes
Huh?
sense.
I'd like to
That
have
makes
that.
sense.
That sounds nice.
And then,
Have you
and I don't
Talked to
want to go.
Diane today, Butch? Did
Yeah.
you talk to Diane today?
Judy did. Judy did.
How's she doing?
It's better. They're getting closer to closing on their house too. They want to get out.
I figured this would do it. No,
Oh yeah,
the last
straw.
fire, they were ready to go.
Yeah.
What are they gonna go?
First, they're going to go to Colorado Springs and rent a place. And they are talking now of maybe going to Hawaii or something. They found some places not in urban areas which are a little more reasonable for the kind of money they have. So
Right.
they may look into that. They had been talking about mobile home type of thing, but
Wow.
they kind of got out of that. Them and John and Jill got talking about this, and they did a lot of research on it. And then they said, nah, maybe this isn't the way, because what they figured out, Diane wasn't going to drive the thing. So therefore it would have to be Dave always backing into things and pulling out, which takes a lot of skill.
And they have 3 dogs.
And they have 3 dogs.
They have 3 dogs,
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
always had 3 dogs. Yeah.
and going from a giant size house to a smaller van or whatever they're called, that would be. I kind of
It would be different. It would be different. But they said there are some that, I mean, they both families went to a thing in Florida when they visited each other, a show, and they saw some kind of high-end types of things that are available, you know?
kind of think there's something interesting about that, because if there's a problem in your area, you just drive away.
Yeah.
You know, if there's floods or
Fire.
hurricane,
A fire.
you
And
just
that's what
drive
they
away.
just had. 2 towns away, towns
Oh,
were
shit.
evacuated.
Yeah.
Did you read about the?
She posted that, and she
Yeah.
could see, not just smoke, but flames.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Is this going to affect the closing though?
I don't know.
Seriously, I mean, if I were the buyer, I'd say,
Judy said no. Judy said no.
oh, good.
Well, I don't know. People are funny. Just because there were some fires near Boulder doesn't mean everybody in Boulder is going to sell their home.
That's right. That's
know,
right.
It's
Right.
just human nature is.
But it's not the first time it's happened. I think I remember the last time it was close to her, she was saying, this may be it. We may start
Yeah.
looking to get out of here.
I know. And that's a personal
this
thing.
one was so
Don't forget, there are a lot of people. In fact, that's something. Something I read recently. How we tend to, how in business they tend to think if somebody doesn't like something, they can always move. You can't always move. There are people who can't move.
That's
They
true.
can't go and get a different job
Right.
or get a different rental or get a different house. There's a lot more to it than just, I think I'll move.
That's right. You're right.
Or a majority of people.
More importantly, when you look at where can I go where it's safe under climate change conditions, what's the answer?
Well, yeah, no, I know.
Where you-
Really?
You have to stay where your
Erica,
job is.
what area is safe?
I know. I know.
But I
Pardon?
think what,
But not to mention, if you change location, if you're a working person and not someone who's retired and infinitely wealthy, you need to get a job.
you stay
How,
where
how
your
do you?
period, you stay where your job is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're like kind of away from it because we're not working right now. But for
Yeah.
most of our lives, you stay where your job is.
Exactly. Or
And
you go where there can be a
Three
job.
of us aren't working. We're retired. Where would you go? I'm back to my
Would.
original question. You're retired, you have a job commitment. Where would you go that's safe?
I'm staying right here.
Well, it depends on what you define as
You
safe.
know,
What you define as safe.
That's right. Climate, COVID.
tornadoes, no floods, no drought, no 150-mile-an-hour winds.
But Donna, that answers your own question.
Sure,
There
it
is
does.
no go.
There is no place that has. You want the Garden of Eden? It doesn't exist.
Right.
Nobody sent me a memo.
What?
Nobody sent me the memo.
You must have missed it.
Well, it's true, Donna. It's true. If I were looking to move to another part of the country, I probably would not go and live on a coast near an ocean
Right.
or near a river or, well, then I mean,
Tornado Alley. We all know where that is, right? Now it's extending because we get them in New Jersey.
that's a big alley.
That is a big alley.
It's like all of central United States now.
I hope we get to publish this video.
Don't send it to any real estate agents. They'll freak out. Well, I don't know. Around in my neighborhood right here, oh my God, I get these things in the mail at least once a month telling me they'll buy my house
Yeah.
sight unseen for like a gazillion dollars.
Yeah.
Because what they do around here and lots of places, I think, is they knock them down and they build these, big things.
Yeah. Yeah.
With it doesn't have much of a yard, and the place you park your car is underneath the house.
Yeah.
Sort of like your place. Yeah, very much like your place, Butch. Though they're building those all around here, but not a whole complex. Just like buying up a small house and building a big thing.
Yeah.
So to answer Donna's question, I get tempted every now and then, like, oh yeah, because this house is very old. I could never sell this house to a buyer who's going to live here. This is only valuable for somebody who knocks it down and builds something in the space. So if I were to do that, but then where would I go? I'd have to buy something.
I know. And the other issue, and I said this talking to John and Jill, and even to Dave and Diane, the way property values have gone up, and it's true where I am too, but not as much as what theirs went up. You could sell your house and you could make a lot more money. But then wherever you go, you're going to have to use that money to buy the new high-priced thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So there's no way out. Although, Kath, in your case, I would, did you ever hear of Zillow.com?
Oh yeah, I go on there all the time.
Tells you what your house is, the what is it called? The Z estimate or something?
All the time.
Yeah. And it tells you so you can get a rough idea of what it could sell for.
Oh, I can get more than what Zillow tells me.
Oh, yeah?
Then after I look at Zillow and they tell me what my house is worth, then I go and look up, so what's for sale? What can I buy?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you said.
I know.
It's like $1 million. Although
she has a lot of land. Her house is valuable also because of that big, huge backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Said,
property.
They'll down and yeah.
And I would want that because I want the dogs. So I want.
Yeah.
That's
so you have certain things you want that you would be looking for, and each of those things has a cost.
Yeah.
Right.
Now around here, and that's Donna, we were saying this the last time we talked. In certain parts of the country, everything is so expensive. If you go to another part of the country, you could buy a gorgeous, tremendously big house for, I don't know, $300,000.
Yeah,
Would be,
yeah.
but you know, where's the nearest good hospital? Where's the nearest good doctors? Where's, you know, all the
Yeah, no, you're right. And there's the issue of crowding, you know, where we are in Jersey, it's relatively crowded, compact. Everybody's close to one another, you know,
yeah.
which is why property values are what they are to some extent.
But again, where you live, it's because of the job situation. Everybody who lives there works somewhere that they can drive to.
Right, right.
There's employment opportunities. Yeah, where the houses are cheap, it's because there's no employment opportunities. So only either retired people
Sure.
or owners,
Economics. Yeah.
businesses nearby. Damn capitalism. I was right. I was right 40 years ago when I was like a pinko.
No, but I told you the other night the difference, the two brands of communism.
Yeah.
They're not all the same. They're not all the same.
They never were actually, but you're right.
Yeah.
So who has Netflix?
I have Netflix. What have you been watching on it?
I haven't watched anything, but I'm going to start pretty soon because I'm tired of spending, I don't know, what is it, $15 a month. I only have it on my iPad. Do you have it on TV?
On the television. Yeah, on the TV. Yeah.
You watch it, Donna.
I watch it on the laptop, but I also watch the Amazon Prime movies as well.
Me too.
And they have some good ones, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, I want to get a smart TV, but I have to figure out what that even means. I'm not even sure.
Oh, Downton Abbey is coming on Sunday night. Did you see that? The movie Downton Abbey?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
It's this Sunday night on regular television.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah.
So
you've already seen that.
I think it's not. Yeah, but you said you wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And now it's on a regular television station. They've been advertising it here. I assume you'll get it too.
Yep, I'm sure I will. I'll search it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I forgot that they made a movie of that, actually. Totally forgot that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, guys. Donna's looking at something. Did you get a message too?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I was looking at my hands.
What are they doing?
They're looking a little wrinkled.
Oh, hey, Donna, here's my new thing. I went to my pantry the other day and I found this bottle of grapeseed oil. I must have bought it. I bought it like, I don't know, 4 years ago, never used it. So I looked on the date thing. It's already expired, so I'm not going to use it for food. So now I put it underneath my eyes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It gets rid of the wrinkles.
What is it? Grapeseed?
Grapeseed oil.
Okay.
Oil, instead of using cold creams and things like that, oils are very good. You have to be very sparingly because, you know, it's oil. So you just a little bit underneath the eyes, around the eyes, eyelashes.
Jody uses something called essential oils. Similar.
Yeah, oils are much better than creams.
Yeah.
Because creams are heavy and they cake your oil. You got to be careful with oils because they're you know, you got to be careful. You know, you can't use too much. Anyway, that's my New Year's thing. Grapeseed oil.
Sounds good.
Donna's not convinced.
Well, I don't want to go near my eyes until I get them both in.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Seriously,
You see a difference now?
Not as good as I expected, because I was led to believe immediately by the surgeon that I would not have to wear glasses again. And the first eye that they do is the worst eye.
Yeah.
It's the most damaged eye.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And the only difference I notice is color. It's much more vibrant and sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
But I pick up the books to read and I have to put the glasses on right away.
Yeah. 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 My doctor had said, based on his examination of my eyes, I can't promise you that you won't need glasses after the surgery. And that's the way it turned out. So he didn't make a promise, you know.
Right, right.
Hey, Butch,
But
That's
did
because of the
he say
condition
you
of
have
my eye.
glaucoma? Do you have glaucoma, or
That's
you're
a hard one
prone
to answer.
to?
I'm treated with things that treat glaucoma, the eye drops and what have you. And every 3 months when I go, they check my intraocular pressure.
Right.
And the higher the pressure is, the more damage it can do to evidently the back of the eye, where the nerve comes into the, not pupil. I don't know what the eyeball is called, but where the optic nerve comes into it,
Right.
there is something there that is not quite right. Okay. And they always say your cup to disc ratio is higher than it should be. Whatever that means, I don't know. But it's something. So they want to keep the pressure low. Otherwise, eventually, if the pressure was high, eventually enough damage would be done to that I could be blind, which is what happens in the end of glaucoma.
Right, right.
Eventually lose your eyesight, you know.
Well, diabetics also have certain eye problems.
Yeah, yeah.
Unique only to diabetic.
Well, I was starting to say before about when I said that I lost about 15 pounds since last year, that about 6 months ago, I kind of felt from the numbers of my blood work that the endocrinologist was going to recommend that I start getting injections. But in the meantime, I had seen an advertisement for a new medication that you take that could lower your A1C to below 7, which is between 6 and 7 would be okay. And I asked if she felt, I should try something like that instead. In other words, I was putting a case to avoid injection.
Shots.
Okay? And she said, I just happen to have some samples of that.
Oh, wow.
And she gave me the samples, which was a 3 milligram pill that you would take. Each pack had 3 packs of 10. So you would take it for 30 days, and then you would move up and get a new prescription for the 7 milligram. And since I have been doing that, but the way you start the day is you take this pill, you can't do anything for a half hour.
Wow.
And then you go on and take your other medication or whatever it is you're doing. And my blood test readings have gone down, where the averages I keep in a spreadsheet show that they're in the 6.2 to 6.8 range. So
Wow.
I would imagine the next time I go, in fact, the last time I went to her, I had a 6.8, which was below the 7. And she said, wow, that's fantastic. That's great. That's great. So I think I can keep it controlled. But in the meantime, it possibly is related to loss of some weight.
Weight, right.
yeah.
And
You were taking medication before this, though. You weren't taking the shots, but you were taking a pill every day.
Since 2002. Yeah.
Right. So you stopped that and you're on the new one.
No, I continued.
You do both. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
Well, it's not a lot.
No,
I know people that have bottles all over the place. I take this pill in the morning. Like I said, wait the half hour. Before breakfast, I'll take metformin and I forget what the second one is called.
but wait, Butch, hold on. I want to ask you a question. That new thing that you're taking,
Yeah.
I saw that. I've read about that too. And it's not meant to replace your other medication.
No, it's not.
To enhance it.
That's
It's
correct.
Work with it.
That's
kind of-
correct. That's
Right.
correct.
It's not like, oh my God, I'm like
No, I
If
didn't
I-
stop.
this, I don't
Yeah,
have to
no.
do the other. It's meant to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take metformin twice a day and the new,
Metformin 1,000 milligrams twice a day, morning and evening, and Januvia, I think it is, in the morning, which is one little pill, 10 milligrams.
That's
This
the new
is,
one.
this is for, no, it's not.
Oh,
This is for type 2 diabetes, blood control, blood sugar control, and I can't. Glimmeride is the other one. So the
Wow.
3 pills in the morning is 2 in the evening. Now, what
Man,
I also
you guys must have some really good health insurance to pay for all these prescriptions.
I don't. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope. I just had to
And-
switch over to Blue Cross Blue Shield, which
That's what we have.
we had no, that's what you have?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Because we had no choice. We used to have Tufts, which we were totally happy with. But Tufts the university has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Tufts health insurance.
Yeah.
But anyway, our university decided, oh, we're gonna go with Blue Cross Blue Shield. No choice. We had to go there. And I kind of remember I had that way back in the day, and I thought it's pretty good. So that's what
Yeah.
you have, Butch, and they
Yeah.
pay for all these prescriptions?
Yeah. I mean, I could pull paperwork out and find out that
You pay something.
I pay something. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it's a prescription plan that covers that, right? Not your Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's a prescription plan. No?
Which
Which
part
is
of-
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
prescription plans are not a separate thing. They come under your.
Well, the
No,
company,
they are.
the
Excuse me.
company is called
Yeah.
Optum. I'm sorry. Optum is the company.
Right,
But you're correct. It's not Blue Cross Blue Shield. Yeah.
Right.
That's my health insurance.
right.
So did you have to sign
Prescription.
up separately for a prescription plan?
Did I what?
Do you sign up separately? For a
Yeah.
I'm
prescription?
in it. I've been in it since I retired. It's just part of the
It's part-
plan I do. What the school system did was they changed even their health plan coverage to something else, but they made it optional. And people did some research and found out what they were changing it to. It was better to keep Blue Shield. Some insurance people we know said that was the better plan than what they were changing to.
Yeah,
But they did it. Big outfits do it for financial reasons,
Sure.
that are over and above us
For
little
health.
people.
Nothing
know,
to do with health.
Like you said, with Tufts, they changed for a financial reason.
For sure,
It
absolutely.
cost them less.
sure.
But,
Yeah.
No, but our prescription plan is. I haven't had anything rejected, although there is one medication that Judy gets, which I think a 3-month supply is $90. And there might be one of mine where a 3-month, and it's all 90-day supply, 3-month supply, where it is, I don't know, $27 or $30. But everything else, all I ever see is like $5, $2,
That's right.
$1.50, which is my
Of
copay.
course, unlike you guys, even though I'm a cancer survivor, I don't take any medication.
Wow.
Yep.
When did that happen? No, how long has that been?
Years ago.
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
I have a prescription for an anti-anxiety pill, which is so mild. And I refill it, but I never take it because I don't have anxiety anymore. But I just want to have it on hand in case I do. But yeah, after I finished my chemo, I'm done.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
good. That is
Great.
good.
Very
That's good. Ron has found, since he had his bariatric surgery and it was successful, I'm going to say he's at between 240 and 250 pounds right now. Has to get down to 235, I think, within a month. But he's gone off diabetes medications.
Really?
Yeah, completely off.
Off diabetes medications.
Huh?
He's off diabetes medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fabulous.
Does his blood work every day, and it's normal. Or whenever he does it, it's normal. I
That's
can't
so.
get to that point, but
Now,
Yeah.
how you guys have that and I
But
don't?
now what I did do though recently though too is that my endocrinologist, she noted on one of the blood tests that my potassium, I think I'm going to say
Yeah.
potassium, was
Yeah.
high. And she
Yeah.
looked at the medications I was taking. And because it was easier for me to have her do the refills than my cardiologist, I had her doing all the refills.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was one medication she said, no, you have to get off this because that's causing the high in the potassium. So we
Yes.
dropped the one, and then
Yeah.
she recommended that I do the stuff through my cardiologist. So what he did was took my blood pressure, and which is eventually, which I should say is blood pressure. He's blood pressure and heart. She's diabetes. Okay. So for the blood pressure, he was testing. I was going in. It was high. He said, we have to make some changes here. And what he did was he had me, he not sent me to, he gave me information on this service that he could prescribe where they sent me a blood pressure monitor, which I use every morning. And I take my blood pressure, only I don't record it. It transmits it on the internet
Wow.
to this company, and they do a printout for the doctor. And since I've been doing that, and he changed medications, so I have 2 pills in the morning, 2 pills in the evening for blood pressure. And every morning I do it. And what I went online and what's the proper way to take your blood pressure and so on. And one doctor was saying, clinically, when they take your blood pressure, it tends to always be higher and not really a good reading, because to do it, you're supposed to be seated,
Right.
back supported, relaxed for 5 minutes, and then take it. But no doctor does that because they have you sitting on the uncomfortable table and they say, put your arm here.
Supposed to
So,
do it both
so,
arms.
Sorry.
so the thing that I do at home in the morning, except for the last few days, because I've been taking an antihistamine because I have a cold. We're having a COVID scare, so to speak. Long story. But at any rate, so in the morning, I'll get a blood pressure of 118 over 60 or 115 over 60. This morning it was 128 or 130, but that's because of this antihistamine that I've been taking, because that raises your blood pressure. But I still have the thing, and I do it. I sit for the 5 minutes, and it's tied into the thing I take in the morning, and then wait a half hour, do the crossword puzzle, do the blood
smart.
pressure, and then start doing the other medication. But in the meantime, the recording will be very moderate blood pressure, which is good. And
Yeah, 118 is fabulous, isn't it?
yeah,
18 is fabulous.
yeah. Well, they say 120 over 60. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no higher. But if I'm taking an antihistamine, it could touch 130.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I always joke when I go to the doctor's offices and they take it, it's always higher. And I
Yeah.
always say that's white coat syndrome. And
That's
the
exactly what I say.
female will always say to me, I don't have a white coat on. Nobody wears white anymore. They wear blue.
Yeah,
or
right,
green,
right.
You know, but no, but that has worked out nicely. What I was first was I did a YouTube thing which showed me how to take blood pressure. Sit at the table, put your arm out, wait 5 minutes, press the button, and then do it. Okay, and then wait another minute and do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
And the lower number is the better number.
the correct.
Sis. Don't be scared because it's high. The
Yeah.
lower
Yeah.
number is the better number, and they're always normal now. And I was doing it for a while, also doing it at night when I take the night medication, but I stopped doing the blood test at night because that would mean, like, when am I going to be able to sit down for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Have a cup of, not to mention, have a cup of coffee along the way. Which
New
doesn't-
Year's resolutions.
Yeah, but
That's what it
so
sounds
those
like.
things are in control, and that's not a. I mean,
Oh,
Judy
Donna,
has to take a lot of
Donna,
pills.
Donna, what's your New Year's resolutions?
Not to make any.
Oh, that's cheating. I'm going to do the same ones I do every year.
Which are?
Walking,
No.
don't eat so much, be kind.
That's a tough one.
Which one, the eating or the kindness?
Kindness to the tree guys. With your red and black shirt, and they're cutting branches and you're having a fit.
I've made
An old
friends.
story, I know.
No, I'm having trees trimmed, Donna. You'd be very proud of me.
No, that's good. Good.
Thousands of dollars to get trees trimmed in my backyard.
Oh, my God.
But, got to do it.
They'll live longer.
Yeah, well, you got to do it. I don't want them falling on anybody's head.
Right. So nobody has COVID, the Brady bunches, everybody?
No, we had, well, what should I say? It turns out that and Judy was completely upset by this. The guy that I go to the Seton Hall games with, back in December, we went to, Seton Hall beat Texas on a Thursday night and then Rutgers on a Sunday
Okay, get
night.
to the point. Get to the point.
And he had a scratchy throat and so on and blah, blah, blah. Well, the other day when he's telling me what time we have to meet to go to today's game, he goes, by the way, and I said, I have a little bit of a cold. And he says, by the way, I never told you, but back in early December, I had Omicron.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't tell me. Okay, so
That's an example of what's wrong. Oh, my God. And you went with him today?
no, I didn't.
Good.
I didn't go. I called him up this morning, said, I can't go. I still have this cold, which on Wednesday he gave me advice on take fluids and take vitamin C and so on and so forth. But
Yeah,
but I do recall when he said that he had like a cold. He said to me, I called the doctor. The doctor said, you can't come in. So they did a virtual thing.
Right.
He said, I told him what the symptoms were. And he said, well, I will prescribe an antibiotic, but you have to get tested.
Yeah.
No, he never told me what the result of the test was.
Right.
Unless he did tell me it was negative, but he didn't tell me it was positive
Oh,
then, but he told me the other day.
oh,
So we've been extremely careful. I haven't been out of the house for a week and a half.
That's what Donna's right. This is the problem. People
This
like
is the problem.
he should have stayed home, stayed away from people. I mean, he couldn't stay home for 5 lousy days, or at least tell you.
Well, I'll give you an idea. Of. I'll just spell out something about him. He said, yeah, we have to be careful that, what did he call it? He still calls it the Chinese flu.
Oh, God. Well, there you go.
Now, where did he get that?
We
I know
know we got it. What are you doing with him? Bye-bye.
That's my basketball buddy.
Yeah, well, you need a new buddy. Jeez.
Judy was pissed.
Oh, she should be.
Pissed, but I'm pissed. That is not a friend.
No, it's not. It's not.
I mean, at least he had the good sense to talk to his doctor, and the doctor told him the right thing, and he just ignored it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why it spreads. Now I know why it doesn't spread because the thing is contagious. It spreads because the people who have it
Don't care.
period.
Yeah.
That's well, makes perfect sense to me.
Well, there is, you have to admit there's a lot of conflicting advice about it.
Yep.
Even like I said the other night when I talked to you from the CDC.
Chris, absolutely.
They don't want to own up to being blamed for anything.
Absolutely.
So they don't tell you the whole truth.
But there's a thing called common sense. Common sense. Even if you have a cold,
You shouldn't be out.
a
Right.
simple cold, forget about COVID, forget it. If
Well,
you have
when I started feeling that way, I looked it up.
you're sneezing,
Yeah,
should you go and sit in a theater?
I know.
Should you go to a game? Should you go and
Yeah.
hold a baby? No.
Well, a cold is a rhinovirus. It's a virus.
Right. Right.
Know that, Butch. I'm just saying you still don't want to spread it, do you? Forget
Yeah,
COVID.
exactly. Yeah.
You don't want to spread a cold. Nobody wants a cold. It's very uncomfortable. I hate people. My New Year's
resolution, be kind.
That's my resolution. I'm staying away from people. And it's be very easy for me to do because I do it anyway.
But you have to be understanding of people who can't stay away from people.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
I totally agree, but you don't have to go to a basketball game when you have a cold
I didn't go.
because you're a good person. You're a good person, my brother.
Now, did they lose today because I didn't go?
You didn't go?
No, they lost because they only had 8 players because they have a COVID, I forget what they call it.
Protocol.
No, they just had a cold. They only had a cold.
Yeah, right. No, I love the new
That was a
word.
joke.
The new word, instead of quarantine, they call it COVID protocol.
Yes, that's what Seton Hall had, COVID protocol.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I
Protocol.
think that's cute.
Which, by the way, doesn't mean you were symptomatic or asymptomatic or had, it means you were tested positive. That's what it means.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know what it means. You know what it means? Whatever you want it to mean.
Or you were exposed to someone who tested positive.
Right.
Well, it's too bad Mike didn't get on the call because
Yeah.
I made and Judy knows this. Judy used to make these great fresh hams.
Yeah.
I remember Poppy loved her ham.
Yeah, we had ham for Christmas. I mean, for New Year's.
We had it. I had it for I had it. What did we just have? New Year's. Wait.
Christmas.
Christmas. Okay, so I
Yeah, we
made
had turkey for Thanksgiving. We had ham for
I made ham both times.
Yeah.
And the thing is, well, okay, let me get to the point. So I made the ham for the one that just passed, and
Christmas
I mentioned it to Mike, and he said, "Oh yeah, Debbie makes that." And the best part of that is the next day she uses the bones to make
soup.
Portuguese soup.
Yeah. Judy
Listen,
does too. Yeah.
Let me look that up. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to make this Portuguese soup with the bones. I'm so thrilled. I never used bones in anything before, except for the dogs.
Pea soup.
So I made the soup. Well, I can't quite call it Portuguese soup. I'm going to have to call it Portuguese soup, Irish style.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, it was very bland.
Oh.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be very, vibrant tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now, Brittany,
Mike, because
we
he
stayed over Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at Brittany and Brian's, and Brittany turned me on to something new, which I may or may not try. And I can't think of the name of it. There are a lot of these services now where you can order meals for a certain number of people, either 2 people or 4 people. I think is the one that she did. I forget the name. Fresh food or some name. And she made one of the meals, and it was pretty good, but it was a little spicy, and she showed me in the refrigerator. She got a big box of food, and at the bottom of it was whatever meat there was, and it was under ice, and then above was all the vegetables and the bread and all the stuff that she had to mix in to make the meal. And it turns out that I think the meal cost turns out to be $5 a meal, $4.99 a meal.
Wow.
So if you get it for 2 people, that's $10. But you get 3 meals at a time as a minimum. So that is whatever it is. And she said because she had it, she could give me a coupon type of thing, and I would get a discount of $20. So it would even lower the price to about $2.99. So I may consider trying it. So I have been researching on YouTube about these various things you can get, and it's funny. You get all these young 20 housewives showing you what they do when they get the thing and they open it up and how they make the meal and how great it is, and they give it to the kids. And it turns out the kids don't exactly like it because it's too spicy. Because what they do is they use a lot of spices to make it
Right.
tasty. But kids tend not to like tasty necessarily. They just want the food, you know.
Those are more alive than ours
But it's
are.
I'll send you a link to a couple of those, Donna. You might be interested.
Oh, I think I had one. I had one.
What was it?
Really just blew up when the pandemic started. But what I got, they put it in, you get meals for a week. That's
Okay.
what I 5 days. And basically what I had though, you don't cook it together, you slip it right into the microwave. But I found out later there's much better, healthier ones where
There
they
are a lot. Yeah.
all the ingredients and you put it together.
Yeah.
They're
That's
much
what this was.
healthier.
So she
They're
had
much
to sit
healthier.
there. She had to sit there in the kitchen and do all this mixing and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So
Yeah.
you feel like you're being a cook. You know,
Right,
again,
right,
it's-
right. But they're better than the ones you put in the microwave.
Oh, no,
I
no.
had it for
That's like
maybe
the old.
4 months.
That's
and
like the old. What did they used to call TV dinner
Right,
in
right.
the old days? Basically, you know.
Yeah, we grew up on those.
Yeah. But they've come a long way because now you have a lot of the. I shouldn't call them yuppies. The
Farm
millennial-
Fresh is one.
millennials or
Farm
what have you
Fresh.
who work. What is it? Farm Fresh?
Farm Fresh.
Yes.
That's one of the big ones.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a few of them, and this one that she got, what I found out was it's a subsidiary or a new thing from another one that's based in Germany that used to give you bigger. They give you a big box, but in it would have 3 bags, paper bags, and in each paper bag was 1 meal. So you had
Oh,
to
wow.
empty out from the one, whereas in the one, I think it's the Farm Fresh, like you're saying, it's all these individual little packets. So
Right.
you have to go through it and figure out what you need because you get a card that has
Yeah.
the recipe and
The
so on.
recipe.
But it's an interesting idea, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it all the time, but it
Right.
could be something that, you know, makes somebody feel like they're cooking.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it sounds good for people who are home. You know,
Pandemic, perfect for pandemic, really.
or
It is.
people, kids
And-
or working. No, it's a good thing. Personally, I like to forage for my food. If it wasn't, I used to love going to the supermarket and looking at
yeah.
picking things. Now, Rob does all that. We don't, we try to stay away from people. But what you just described, what Brittany did, she actually had to prepare the food.
Yeah.
That's a great idea because I personally like to engage with my food.
You
That's-
feel like you're creating something.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
That's very therapeutic and
Yeah.
creative, and I like that.
Well, do you remember when they first came out with cake mixes 50 or 60 years ago?
No, I don't remember that because I'm younger than you are.
Okay. Well, let me tell you how it worked. They came up with cake mixes with basically flour and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
what they found out was it didn't sell very well because people didn't feel like they were doing anything to it. So
Yeah.
they changed the recipe slightly by saying you have to pour this into a thing and then you have to break an egg and put the egg in and then mix it up. Just by adding that one ingredient,
It's
people
sold.
started to say, "Oh, I'm baking a cake."
Right. That's right. You're right. I do kind of
The
remember.
marketers figure that out. That's how it's sold.
Yep.
That's
That's
funny.
it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense to me.
So I'll have to do some internet research and see if I can find something to send to Mike. And maybe I'll try to
Yeah.
Zoom
I
him
just,
some other time and see if we can get that worked out.
Yeah.
You know?
well, this was good, Butch. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing this.
And we didn't talk much about him, so if I send him the video, he won't,
Well, you
Tell
know
him
what?
you edited it. Tell him you edited it
we edited him out of it.
out of it. Right.
That's- Okay, I'll try.
Well,
Is it
wait.
possible that his reception problem is part of why he had no sound? Remember, Kathy, when
Yeah.
you can't call him,
Oh.
he
Okay,
has to be in
but-
one
well-
room.
No, I understand. But all I would have to ask him, though, is on his iPad, does he ever get YouTube videos that have sound that he's watching? Because
It's
if
He
he
told-
is,
YouTube all the time.
Yeah, he
then he's
does.
getting reception.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Through
Yeah.
the internet. Yeah.
Say one thing to my brother Mike. Mike, Butch and Donna were talking about you, and I only said good things.
This was her New Year's resolution to be kind.
That was it. That was it. Okay.
She did it. You did it.
Okay. All right. We'll have to get together again sometime soon, and I'll end the video.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks
Happy,
so much.
happy second annual Brady Bunch New
Brady.
Year. Right? That's how I did the thing. Okay. All right. Take
Very
care.
good.
Thanks.
Thank
for
you,
being
Butch.
here.
Love
Okay.
you guys.
Love you.
Love you all. Love you all.
Love you.
You too,
Love
Mike.
you. Yeah, well, yeah, Mike, we miss you. We love you. We'll try to get together with you, maybe virtually or unvirtually. All right. Take care, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.